It's your birthday, so you know I get it damn. Feel more easy as I wait there. Is it your hand home? You know I am. Oh, you know you know I am. Hey, oh, birthday, oh, birthday, oh. Is that the song you ever needed? Ain't nobody playing this goddamn fucking event. I got fouled in my hand. What the fuck was blood spot come from? What the fuck? Damn, ain't one person came to me. Oh, I got 2 people. No connection to my foot. What's I about to say? Big cranberry vampire. You see what again? You know I'm arguing. This time of the day, what's your birthday, birthday, Is that I was just thinking about that too. So I ain't talked to him in a minute and shit like that, whatever. You used to talk to nigga every day, play with him every day. You say what I'm saying, you know I'm arguing.
So many emails. Nor. Oh, finally. Wait, I may need to make a video for this. Well, swoop in and save me, Vimeo.
His name Dylan Dennis, and he might just be the most diabolical person in the history of the internet. History. So Dylan Dennis and
Do we got the ball? Somebody come stand right next to me.
Logan, your girl dated a riffraff?
Nah. We're representing that ass.
This is bad. This is as bad as it gets. This man here is named Dylan Dennis, and he might just be the most diabolical person in the history.
Oh shit, I was on defense?
History. So Dylan Dennis and...
I didn't even know I was on defense. I mean, I don't know who the fuck on my team. I can't tell. We all on street clothes. See your girl dated with her? I can't even see myself. You spin moving to me. Your girl dated with her? Got full connection.
Logan Paul have a boxing match set up for October, right? And Dylan Dennis took this opportunity.
Oh damn, I got full connection too.
To expose the dog sausage out of Logan Paul's fiance. And it's bad, very bad. Since this fight has...
You should have laughed for no reason.
Announced, Dylan Dennis has exposed 57 different men that Logan Paul's fiance has been with. 57. Most of them are celebrities that you and I both know, including one of the greatest actors of all time, Leonardo DiCaprio. Also including musical artist Adam. Meanwhile,
you like to get married or what about engaged?
I'm out already. How long's it been? 4 seconds.
What? I can't. Yeah, I'll tell you why in a second.
Really? Yeah, blocked.
I don't want to do the body language breakdown, but please rewind 5 seconds. She told us all we need to know.
You are the love of my life. You're the girl of my dreams. I never thought I'd find you.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! The fuck?
I'm mad, but never want to let you go. I'm sorry I'm being such a pussy.
The first time it was on it.
When Logan Paul said,
I never thought I'd find you.
I never thought I found you. Well, everyone else in Hollywood did.
She fell out and shit. Man, she's like no bitch. You were crying this fucking hoe. I never thought I'd find you. They gonna leave me ever again. I hope everybody's holding, even Hulk Hogan. What's my life breath?
Download the Domino's app today and become a piece of the pie reward. Never learn.
Skin the skill.
Point stored free.
Take it up to anything up, baby.
Well, everyone else in Hollywood did. He needs some milk. He's crying and she's laughing. And that right there should tell you everything you need to know.
Logan just got engaged about a month ago to a girl. Does anybody know her name? Nina Agdal, who's actually a girl from Miami that I used to kick it with, and not one, not two, but three of my homeboys dated before she.
Three.
So that means they. Oh yeah.
Gotta put that out there.
So I actually like Nina, so this is no disrespect, but you know,
No disrespect.
we have the images to back up my case.
My gag reflex is pretty strong. Yeah, I have to say.
What?
She's a strong guy with
No!
It'll take a lot.
Okay.
Yo! Right, Miriam.
Yo!
I'm gonna knock your out.
Yeah, if you show up, stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up. Don't worry. Just like Nina showed up to every guy's house.
Hey, it's your birthday.
I'm getting cooked. As a matter of fact, Logan Paul was getting cooked so bad on Twitter that he allegedly told his team to tell people to stop commenting under Dylan Dennis photos on Twitter.
Said you commented on something and you got in trouble.
Oh yeah, I won't say his name, but I might have commented a couple laughing faces on one of the pictures that Dylan posted, and someone very close to Logan reached out and said, "Hey, you should probably take the shit down."
Oh, can I know? I'll be about the name.
But he sent me like 30 text messages. On that Sunday, I was trying to fucking enjoy my Sunday. And he's like,
laughing emojis.
dude, I just pull laughing emojis because it's a funny thing to do.
That just goes to show how gnarly the content is. That if you laugh at it, it's like, bro, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Logan is a man who will say anything he thinks he is supposed to say so that the people in charge of him don't take his YouTube channel away. Because if he loses it, he has nothing else.
Look, okay, so to me, I see this and I'm like, what fucking G? Like, you don't give a fuck, right?
Wait, is that really what you think, or is that what you stand? Like,
I swear to God, I swear to God,
I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Like, your immediate thought is, wow, this guy's a real gangster.
Yeah, because I'm all about challenging social norms.
I'm old school, man. I like the way it is. Just let it ride. You just like the whole.
But what is the way it is? The way it's been? Well, why? Because the way it's been has not been great.
He doesn't believe what he he's saying. He's bought and sold. He's a puppet.
Meanwhile,
That Andrew Tate is saying will have a ripple effect much more dangerous than you can imagine because his narrative is true.
Oh.
Come get it, come get it.
I fucking missed that shit. It's annoying as fuck, baby.
Yeah.
So I got service and everything. I got connection. It's just on play.
Extremely hateful. His rhetoric has extreme negative energy in it. It will affect impressionable young people in a way that will not show until years from now, and it is dangerous. I never thought that the Japanese forest guy would be talking about negative energy. And speaking about negative energy, he's marrying a wife that is known for doing this to everybody.
Wait! There's more!
Also including musical artist Joe Jonas. She even dated Ja Rule. Ja Rule. They even got matching puppies. Matching puppies. This is bad. And the most diabolical of all of them. The most diabolical. Riff Raff, the rapper. On a serious note though, how do you go from Leonardo DiCaprio to Ja Rule to Riff Raff? How does that even happen? I mean, she definitely doesn't discriminate, so though. She's kind of like a merry-go-round. A merry-go-round, you ask? What do you mean? Because everybody gets a ride. Holy frick, dude. And here's the worst part about all of this for Logan. Because she has this crazy past, and he's dating her, or he's about to marry her. His name is getting dragged through the mud for it. That's an L. This is probably the best example I have ever seen in my entire life as to why you want to know a woman's past before you take her serious. Because his name's getting dragged through the mud because he didn't do his research. Because you gotta think, that is 57 men that they've just found. And these are all people that are like known throughout like the celebrity world. That doesn't include like regular people that we've never heard of. It only really includes like celebrities and stuff like that. So there's probably way more we don't even know about. Not to mention that
LeBron James
is still dropping these. He drops like 5 a day. Yeah, that's
what LeBron James.
You might want to call off that wedding, bro.
If I saw Jake Paul, I'd buy him a drink. I like Jake. Logan, not so much.
Off camera, he was basically like, no, like, I never respected you. I thought you were a failure. And I was just like, so you didn't even, like, respect me as a brother?
When you won your fight against Nate Diaz and everybody's cheering and Logan's sitting there, he looks like a super villain.
I just don't get it. I was just
Who's trying to fight in the crowd?
What's going on right now? I'm just, like, lost.
Who was a tougher?
You trying to fight in the crowd?
KSI or Floyd Mayweather?
Ooh, who's tougher? KSI or Floyd Mayweather? Honestly, KSI. KSI.
Was that hard to fight?
Yeah, it was. He's just a dog. Like he has this tenacity and this intensity that I've never seen. Like when you're in the ring with him, he wants to kill you. It's the only thing he cares about. He can't lose.
It's funny how Logan praises KSI, but speaks down and hates on his brother.
Tommy Fury's on my radar.
You're not even a fighter. You do exhibitions and lost like 4 years ago.
I think I'm better than you, and I think Nate chose you for a reason, and I think everyone knows that.
But what have you done to prove that you're better than me?
I don't know. Went toe-to-toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. If for whatever reason it doesn't go in KSI's favor, the story arc of avenging my business partner and brother is right there.
I think you just want to beat Tommy to be able to say that you're better than me at boxing.
I said I would get kicked out if I brought a Prime bottle to the stadium. That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, get over it. Meanwhile,
I'm your brother building a business.
Oh yeah, you're my brother building a business. You love to play both sides, bro.
What's the other side?
You play both sides.
What side am I playing?
You play both sides.
What's the other?
You want to partner with Dana White and KSI.
My life is my life. Your life is your life. I'm gonna take these opportunities. When we as brothers no longer become additive to each other, and it feels like you or I are trying to take from one another.
But when it's convenient for you, we're brothers. But then when it's not, you do the exact opposite of like, we're completely separate. So like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do as well.
I don't know if I always have to yield and bend my personal ways because we are brothers and that's the sole reason.
And when a good friend tries to help Logan Paul,
all the people that you look at, your brand managers, your camera guy, all those people were not there when you guys were sharing each other's first birthdays, fifth birthdays, sixth birthdays, high school, you know, that's family. You can't get rid of your family. So keep it between you guys. You guys love each other. I know you guys love each other. It could get competitive and it could get crazy in this world that you guys live in, but never, ever, ever forget that you guys, at the end of the day, you guys came through the same bloodline. Don't let this world tear you guys apart.
This is how Logan Paul treats him.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not backing up for shit. That guy's a fucking you guys are both wrong. That guy's such a bitch, and he's just like I'm on the Tate tit. I'm on the Tate tit, and I go again. Give me some more nerdy facts.
You hate women, you hate gays, and you're racist. Of course you like Andrew Tate, you fucking scumbag.
Logan, you're wrong,
What the fuck is on the brother?
Andrew Tate is not racist. For one, first of all, he's not racist.
Logan Paul talks about how Andrew Tate has a negative impact on impressionable children, while on the other hand, Logan Paul goes on this YouTube channel called Sideman's Tinder to promote porn stars and OnlyFans to millions of young children. An absolute hypocrite. And gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. But before I end this video, there has been a lot of negative content in this video, so allow me to end this video with something more positive.
If you can answer one question for me, I'll give you $500.
$500? What's the question?
What's your biggest regret in life?
About 30 years ago, me and a young lady had a son together, but we couldn't afford it, so we had to give it to a couple for adoption. I don't know if he has children or if I have grandchildren. I don't know where he's at. I hope what the family that I gave him to took very good care of him.
Yeah, that sounds sad.
God is sorry. He's so sorry.
We all make mistakes, man.
I'm sorry.
At least you didn't abandon him. You gave him to a family that would take care of him.
I've heard me a long time, and I'm glad I met you.
As promised.
Wow. This is really for me?
Yes.
Listen, man. Fine, son. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you too, brother.
Kinda fucked me up, dog.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, would you describe yourself as a feminist?
Yes.
So how... Do you believe in gender equality?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how do you reconcile believing in gender equality, but also holding men to their traditional gender roles of paying for the first date?
Well, I'm just saying that's my personal view. A woman being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do and not being bashed by society for that. And obviously, standing up for women's rights and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just feel like this question's really tense.
You believe in gender equality. Don't you think you ought to split the bill on the first date?
No, because my main concern with gender equality is through, yes, in society, fixing that, and through, the system. But, yeah, I don't, oh my God.
This girl sounded like she has 2 brain cells, and they were all fighting and competing for 3rd place. Maybe that's the reason why Just Pulling Things said this.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion.
Y'all aren't even going on a date.
Right? She need to pay for half bill. We need equal party.
Well, we talk about equal pay, or why men only get top position jobs.
Cause of men.
It's man what? But ain't nothing. Well, we ever work out. Man goes up in the street. Man wanna play with my heart.
From TheHannibalTV.com with a UFO news update, which even people that are not interested in UFOs might find this pretty interesting. This is a story that started July 11th in San Antonio, Brazil, town out San Antonio, Peru, rather, which is a tribe in Peru of 1,300 people that is about a 10-hour river trip to reach. So it's pretty secluded, and it's a tribe that lives there, so who knows if they have Wi-Fi or not, or how advanced they are, but this is a bizarre story. Starting July 11th, they alleged that the town was under attack by beings such as this. A few pictures have come out. Obviously, some of them have cell phones. This was an unusual looking one for sure. There was some that were in there. And then there was even a video of one that came out. Let's take a look at this video.
You can't even look me in the eyes and tell me that this is a jetpack guy. You have to be to truly think the public would believe that. Like, I am appalled that they think we're actually that dumb. Look at this creature. Look at the eyes. Oh my!
What the fuck?
So that's a video of the alleged creature.
I tanked it.
Which is pretty crazy. But then a story has come out, and these new pictures have come out, which I did not know anything about. These flying humans apparently now have flying.
You AI, Brand, I hate that shit. Okay, as AI.
Apparently, these are some pictures from Brazil as well of people wearing thrusters, which yes, I guess humans now have the ability to fly.
Also, I can't make a shot.
They, you can see this gentleman here flying. This is not from Brazil. This is.
Yeah, flying people in Brazil. With red and yellow pants on.
Just what a normal person using those thrusters looked like, but the official story that come out, these people, the villagers claim they shot at the beings, and the beings were wearing some type of armor where the bullet had no effect, or it went through the beings, and they eventually caught the attention of the Navy in Peru. The villagers were claiming these beings were 7 feet tall. They referred to them as face peelers. They said they emitted massive flashing lights. A 15-year-old girl was actually attempted to be kidnapped by one of them, or by a group of them, but she had to be hospitalized.
What?
There's net cuts. But after the Peruvian government, this picture came out. It's one of the Peruvian Navy is saying that this was actually illegal gold miners that were trying to scare the people of this town for some reason, which I don't know. It's possible, but why the hell would you do that? I mean, if you have enough money to afford all of this, this is quite an elaborate hoax. And then maybe some people like this, I mean, this doesn't look like a gold miner. This one certainly does. I mean, I can understand how that could be.
No, ain't Hannibal.
This could be a hologram. This could be a hologram. Who knows? But this is quite an elaborate.
Yeah, boy. What animal?
It's so perfect. It's so freshly baked.
Quality and convenience. Let's get it.
The dungus. Them dungus.
I think it is a duty incumbent on me to make this my last official communication. The citizens of America are now possessed of absolute freedom and independency.
Yeah, right.
At this auspicious period, the United States came into existence as a nation. And it appears to me there's an option still left to the United States of America. That it is in their choice and depends upon their conduct whether they will be respectable and prosperous or contemptible and miserable as a nation. This is the moment to establish or ruin their national character forever. For with our fate, will the destiny of unborn millions be involved? There are 4 things which I humbly conceive are essential to the existence of the United States as an independent power. First, an indissoluble union of the states under one federal head. Secondly, a sacred regard to public justice. Thirdly, the adoption of a proper peace establishment. Fourthly, the prevalence of that friendly disposition among the people of the United States, which will induce them to forget their local prejudices and policies. And in some instances, to sacrifice their individual advantages to the interest of the community. These are the pillars on which the glorious fabric of our independency and national character must be supported. Liberty is the basis. Whoever would dare to sap the foundation will merit the severest punishments which can be inflicted by his injured country. It is only in our united character as an empire that our independence is acknowledged, that our power can be regarded, or our credit supported among foreign nations. I have thus freely disclosed what I wish to make known before I surrendered up my public trust to those who committed it to me. The task is now accomplished.
You're right.
It remains then to be my final and only request that these sentiments be considered as the legacy of one who has ardently wished on all occasions to be useful to his country, and who even in the shade of retirement will not fail to implore the divine benediction upon it.
Good one, George.
With the greatest regard and esteem, I have the honor to be, sir, your excellency's most obedient and most humble servant, George Washington.
So he's actually 1,000% right. So you're actually 1,000% right.
1,000% right.
We were talking about me putting my pee on the towels, messing up.
Uh-huh.
There's a little tiny hole.
Yeah, so there's
little tiny ass hole.
There's a whole category of aspects to the discussion around ancient technology, right? And I have to be kind of careful about what you say. Oh, it is.
I was scraping it with the scissors and I found it.
Analyzed that many artifacts. This phase work that we've done, first one we've actually taken a look at that core. That's the first one and the only one that's really been analyzed. So I characterize beyond the capabilities of these primitive ancient civilizations.
Just playing naked.
Machining marks, tool marks, like these giant circular saws, tube drills. Precision, and there's elements to precision, and one of those is symmetry. And there's been some interesting studies done on the faces of giant statues. One in particular is the face of Ramses. There's a statue at Luxor. They've since put their head back up. It's up now 30 feet in the air on top of the statue, but it used to be on the ground. And again, Chris Dunn was real seminal in this. He went and took a photo, like bang on, like very front on, and then what he did was you take a copy of that photo, you make it 50% transparent, make the original 50% transparent, you take one and you flip it like on that horizontal axis, then you overlay them, right? So you would see like the left to right, it's like overlaying the left side on the right side, and it's perfect. It's this face here, but I wonder if you can.
Well, I guess the moisture in. Oh my God!
There's your video right there. Videos there as well, where I get into it.
But it's not that picture you're asking for.
No, it's similar, but it shows other aspects of the same radius of tool being used to cut. But what's interesting about the symmetry? It's perfectly symmetrical, left to right. Now, this isn't a feature in humans. No human is perfectly symmetrical. Different nostrils, different eyeballs. It's also not something that is done in artwork. So, people often say, well, Michelangelo, he carved David. It's a beautiful statue. I've seen it. It's incredible. But it's human. It's not symmetrical. Symmetrical is, you can't achieve that degree of symmetry just by eyeballing it and doing it by hand. And it's also something that's not really human. I think some of these statues almost look a bit inhuman because of that symmetry when they're up there and they're staring at you, because it's mind-blowing to actually go and look at them. But it's the other aspect is the most efficient way to create that would be to say, well, if you were going to design it in a computer, it's like, well, I'm going to create half this face in a program and map it out, and then I'm just going to reverse it and say, well, that's the other half. It's literally the most efficient way to do it, and that's kind of what we're seeing in some of these statues.
Go back to that image, please.
It's virtual perfection.
And what's the explanation for this that modern archaeologists use?
They did it by hand, right? They do it by hand. That's literally what they say. You just don't. They're not engineers and construction experts at the end of the day. That's the problem. So it's very difficult to engage them on those specific details. And I've taken many engineers, master stonemasons, stone carvers, construction guys, and a lot of them see it immediately. People that understand what it takes to both work in this material and to work at the scale that some of this stuff is worked in. They see it immediately, and they just dismiss the idea that this was done with literally pounding stones and, copper chisels. It's a funny thing.
Copper chisels.
Those things are how they were done, but not once, no one ever has cut a single big slab of granite the size of a refrigerator in half. We've never gone that far. No one's demonstrated that, yep, you can take a copper bar and sand and grind your way through a refrigerator-sized block.
And you're saying copper because we think that they didn't have steel back then.
They didn't. Well, they didn't, and not until later. There's no evidence for it. There's evidence for copper and bronze.
There's no evidence for it when we're talking about 2,500 BC.
Exactly.
Now, if there was some sort of very sophisticated civilization that was tens of thousands of years before that, and they were wiped out, and then you're leaving behind these artifacts, and then people are claiming them as their own, and then trying to copy them.
Imitation was a huge part of it, and we even see that. You go to the Egyptian Museum, and there's these beautiful igneous stone vases made of granite, and right next to them, in the same display, because they're found in the same place, there's a rough pottery vase that's not even turned, just put together by hand. And they painted it with dots to make it look like granite, and it's shaped the same way as the granite base. That's pure imitation. Like this here, I love this. This is one of my favorite examples. And this is like either first dynasty or pre-dynastic. But yeah, you have a hard igneous stone vessel made with perfection, and right next to what's clearly an imitation of it, made from pottery, and they've even dotted it up to make it look like granite.
All the most sophisticated artifacts, pyramids, everything are all the oldest. It gets worse as it goes on, and that's not supposed to make sense. And like when last time I was on with you, Joe, I was trying to articulate a point, which was that there was, a middle kingdom, there was the first kingdom, there was and there was these periods of revolt and revolution and missing history within Egypt, and there was 3 different kingdoms. And one of which was 126 years of lost history, another was over 200 years. And the one point to mention about that is that means that whoever took over and reestablished themselves, there's now no one alive at that period of time that was around prior to whatever it is that reset them, that government or whatever they were. Yeah. So if there's 126 years of lost history, no one is now alive to say what was what before that year one of 126 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's 3,000 years. Like the dynastic Egyptian civilization itself is 3,000 years old. Now they do trace that back 30+ thousand years. They describe a time, the Zept Hepi, when the gods walked the earth. They literally talk about these magical abilities that you could interpret as technology. And then after that, there was the Shemsu Hor, the followers of Horus, these semi-divine mystical beings. And they have a list of kings and rulers that go back into that time. It's only in our interpretation and our archaeologists that really say, well, you know what, that's just myth and legend. And after that, we start Dynasty 1, King 1. That's actually history.
But what is their justification? Like, why do they say that it's just myth and legend? Like, where are they getting this information from? Well, why are they making these?
Well, because civilization can't exist until 6,000 years ago. It says it right here, Joe. Memorize it.
But once they see Göbekli Tepe, don't they kind of have to
They should
formulate?
They refuse. They say they're primitive.
They say Göbekli Tepe was created by. They changed it, and it literally happened. I saw this argument being made when Michael Sherman was here with Graham and Randall. They say it's made by hunter-gatherers. They literally changed the definition of what it means to be a hunter-gatherer, rather than move that precious date of civilization starting from 6,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago with Göbekli Tepe. And I think it's ridiculous. Göbekli Tepe, you cannot produce that type of installation without civilization. Right? You just so many things. The specialization of allowing someone to be able to carve, 18-foot pillars that weigh several tons.
Not just that, but the fact that these animals on those pillars are 3D. Yeah, you carve out the stone to remove stone, so that you have these giant pillars with like a lizard crawling up the side of it, but the lizard extends out from the stone.
Yeah, high relief.
It's not carved into it. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, as difficult as possible.
And you need, you need a population base to support the sort of the development of specialization like that. It's as if they just think, well, no, these hunter-gatherers, these dudes just want to get around the weekends, get away from the women, go and do some little carving project on the weekend. We'll move some stones over here. And it's not just stone circles, there's buildings and cisterns and quarries.
You don't have to love racing to love Gran Turismo, because what you're really watching is this feel-good sports movie. It's the incredible true story of a gamer who became a professional race car driver and changed the most elite sport in the world.
Welcome. We miss you.
Jan is this kid who...
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures. And the stones are immense, and some of them were cut from a quarry that's hundreds of miles away. How do you think they did that?
Well, some of them, the granite in the Great Pyramid comes from more than 500 miles to the south. If you look at the famous King's Chamber, its walls and its roof are, the ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic granite blocks.
What the fuck?
Stunning detail. Those blocks on the the roof of the King's Chamber weigh 70 tons each. Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Well, maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do. But when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all. I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, had a lost technology. And it was this ancient apocalypse, 12,800 years ago, that wiped that from the human memory banks almost completely. Not entirely completely because there were survivors, but removed most of it.
Meet Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect forever linked to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. This tale has captivated hearts for over 2,000 years. But here's the mystery. We know so little about Pilate himself and what came next in his life. Early writings by folks like Josephus, Eusebius, and other ancient Christian historians give us a peek into his later years. They help us answer the intriguing question, what really happened to Pontius Pilate after those fateful days?
What really happened to him all?
We don't have much information about the early life of this regular Roman official. However, according to some traditional stories, he was part of the Roman equestrian class and came from the Ponti clan in Italy, which explains his name, Pontius. But apart from that, not much is known about where he was born, his origins, or his early years, until he took up the role that made him famous. In 26 AD, Pilate stepped into the fifth governor of the Roman province of Judea. He landed this position thanks to his connections with Sejanus, a highly influential figure during the time of the second Roman emperor Tiberius. Pilate took charge in Judea only 20 years after King Herod Archelaus had been removed, shifting the region into direct Roman governance. This period was marked by tension, particularly because the Jewish people, who stood out among Rome's subjects for their belief in one God rather than many, were in a state of rebellion. Within the Jewish population, various groups were increasingly drawn to self-proclaimed messiahs who preached across the province in the 1st century AD. In the midst of Pilate's time as governor, a man we now recognize as Jesus was just one of these messiah figures active in the area. Pilate governed Roman Judea for 10 years, from 26 AD to 36 AD. The exact timing of Jesus being brought before him and condemned by Jewish leaders isn't definitively known. However, there's a theory that this event occurred in 33 AD. In 31 AD, Sejanus was removed from power and executed. This had a ripple effect on Pilate's authority in Judea, as he no longer had the backing he once did. Pilate's choice to satisfy the demands of Jewish leaders and comply with their requests could have been influenced by his weakened position. This idea gains traction because during the time between his appointment in 26 AD and Sejanus' execution in the autumn of 31 AD, Pilate had generally maintained an adversarial stance toward the Jewish leaders in the province. His actions, like minting coins adorned with symbols of pagan gods and displaying Emperor Tiberius' images in Jerusalem and other towns across the province, had stirred the ire of the Jewish people who viewed these acts as idolatrous. Given this backdrop, it's reasonable to surmise that Pilate's shift towards a more conciliatory approach, granting the leaders' plea for Jesus' crucifixion, unfolded during a period when his authority as governor of Judea was precarious, following Sejanus' fall from power. In contrast to the often dramatic portrayal of Pilate's decision to condemn Jesus in the New Testament, it's quite plausible that this was an ordinary occurrence in his role as governor. His decision likely aimed at preventing disturbances during Passover by accommodating the request of the Jewish leaders. Jesus' crucifixion did not earn him any ill will from Rome, and he continued successfully ruling the region for years afterward. Around 36 AD, a group of Samaritans from Samaria who followed a different Messiah, perhaps named Dositheos, started digging on Mount Gerizim. They believed they'd unearthed valuable artifacts connected to the Hebrew prophet Moses. In response, Pilate instructed some of his soldiers to head to Mount Gerizim, resulting in a tragic massacre of the Samaritans. Following this, a complaint reached the governor of the neighboring Roman province of Syria, Lucius Vitellius. He treated this matter seriously enough to send a report to Rome. This led to Pilate being summoned back to the Eternal City by Emperor Tiberius to answer for his actions as the governor. When Pilate finally reached Rome in 37 AD, Tiberius had already passed away, and Emperor Caligula had taken his place. It was a common pattern for individuals in Pilate's position, facing severe accusations, to be pardoned when a new emperor came into power.
What the fuck me, man?
This historical trend makes it unclear what ultimately happened to Pilate. Interestingly, Pilate's presence in historical records largely dwindles, giving rise to two competing theories. However, neither of these theories has substantial evidence to definitively establish their accuracy. The first theory proposes that Pilate fell out of favor due to his conduct as governor of Judea and potentially ended his own life shortly after returning to Rome. On the flip side, another viewpoint suggests that Caligula extended forgiveness, and Pilate retired to a tranquil and modest life on an Italian countryside estate. His existence remained in relative obscurity until the authors of the New Testament began penning their accounts of Jesus' life several decades later. Whichever of these two scenarios sheds light on Pontius Pilate's later years, it's clear that his reputation today is a blend of perspectives. In some strands of Christian belief, he's seen as a hesitant governor who reluctantly gave the green light to Jesus' crucifixion in order to pacify the temple leaders in Jerusalem. The Christian Ethiopian Church and the Coptic Church of Egypt honor Pilate as a saint. On the flip side, many others tend to see him as a harsh and brutal governor, with his role in the death of the Son of God positioning him as a notable antagonist in Roman history. Deciding which of these viewpoints is more accurate is perhaps as tricky as figuring out whether he ended his life in 37 AD or spent his later years in peaceful retirement. So the question remains, how should we remember Pontius Pilate today?
What the fuck? I can't make a fucking shot.
The only way you survive this is working together.
We even got the ball, playing defense.
Unicorn, but you also get to a certain height where it becomes a disservice in the this league. You know, like, there's nothing he can do about being 7'5", but I'm not sure 7'5" suits you better than being 7'1", being 7 feet.
With his skill set.
You know, with his skill set. Being 7'5" almost does him a disservice. But with the skill set that everyone loves about this kid, being 7'5" almost hurts that. Because once you get to this level, you're going to run up against guys who's way stronger, that moves as fast or faster, and they play way lower to the ground. If you just running up into that, like 7'5" kind of hurts you. And so I think that's something that he's going to have to adjust to as well, that people aren't really accounted for.
You got the
like
right
your
coach.
point. Ain't many guys over 7'2"
that's been able to do it.
Doing
Yeah.
much in this league.
Yeah.
Like, in Zubac, 7 feet. Like,
But he's he's a center. He's like you're a legit center. Like Wemby is like a 7'5" 3-man. Like
exactly.
He's a swing.
He's tall. And
Oh my God.
They keep comparing him to Kevin Durant, right?
Exactly. But guess what? If he's going to play the 3, guess who's guarding him?
Yeah. And I'm the same approach. I'm climbing into him. Pause.
Already. That was a quick one.
I think his height, which everybody's going crazy. I pray that he doesn't grow anymore because at 18 you could possibly still grow. That's a disaster for him. But like I more than anything, I actually worry about his height more than anything.
Meet Jameson Orange.
After doctors discovered a congenital heart defect. In this video, we'll talk about what exactly that could mean. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and my goal on this channel is to teach you about the medical side of the sports world. And so if anatomy and that sort of thing interests you, then please consider subscribing to help support the channel and stay up to date. This was a statement released by his family. Let's take a look at everything in here. So after a comprehensive initial evaluation at Cedar Medical Center, that's going to be out in California where this initially happened, follow-up evaluations at the Mayo Clinic and the Atlantic Health Morristown Medical Center, the probable cause of Mr. James' sudden cardiac arrest has been identified. It is an anatomically and functionally significant congenital heart defect, which can and will be treated. Family is confident in full recovery and return to basketball in the very near future, which is the best news out of all of this. Back when I first covered this story, I talked about how one of the most challenging and complicated aspects of these sudden cardiac arrests in athletes is trying to find the cause, because there are plenty of times where doctors cannot identify what led to the cardiac arrest. Remember, we can divide these into essentially structurally normal or structurally abnormal hearts, meaning there's something wrong with the blood vessels, or when we look at the structure all looks completely normal. Similarly, we can break down these causes of sudden cardiac arrest into things that are acquired and things that are congenital. So in this case with Bronny, congenital means that it was something that he's had from birth. Congenital means from birth. So this isn't something that was acquired. This is nothing related to a shot. This is something he's had since he was born that the doctors feel confident led to his arrest. In the statement, they specifically capitalized congenital heart defect, which presumably puts this into a smaller category of possibilities of what could have been happening and what's structurally and functionally wrong with Bronny's heart. Let's walk through some of those possibilities. If we look at the cross-section of the heart has 4 chambers, the 2 atria and then the 2 ventricles. Blood enters into the right atrium. So blood coming from the body that has had all of its oxygen used up returns to the heart through the superior and the inferior vena cava and initially travels into this right atrium. Once blood is inside the right atrium, it then naturally flows down to the right ventricle. Once inside the right ventricle, blood is then really strongly pushed out from the right ventricle out to the lungs. Blood circulates through the lungs, picks up oxygen, and then returns with oxygen now into the left side of the heart. In the left side of the heart, it's the same process. We enter into the left atrium, we travel down into the left ventricle, and then from the left ventricle, blood gets pumped out through the aorta, which then travels up to the head, the legs, etc., and then this whole cycle repeats itself. So the natural flow of blood in the heart, in order to go from deoxygenated blood coming in from the body to oxygenated...
Can't be for a shot. Brutal.
Download the Domino's app today and become a Piece of the Pie Rewards member to earn points toward free pizza.
I need some free pizza. Beat that, beat that.
Work it. Work it.
In the noise of our modern world, we are seldom alone. Our minds are constantly bombarded with information, thoughts, distractions. But what if being alone, truly alone, could be the path to changing your life? Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, believed so. He spent most of his life in solitude, honing his craft and developing his philosophy. In his final work, Dokudo, or The Path of Walking Alone, Musashi left us 21 precepts that guide a person towards a fulfilling life, a life enriched by the power of solitude. Join us as we delve into Musashi's philosophy of solitude and discover how being alone can indeed change your life. Before we dive into the profound thoughts he left behind, let's first delve into who Miyamoto Musashi was. A
revered figure, a Ronin, a roving samurai without a lord, Musashi was born in 1584 in a Japan torn apart by civil wars. His prowess with the sword was unparalleled, but it was his profound wisdom that continues to inspire us centuries later. He was an artist, a philosopher, and most famously, a swordsman who won over 60 duels, many of them to the death. But his journey was far from a trail of endless violence. It was a path that led to deep introspection and wisdom. Musashi's life was marked by a relentless pursuit of mastery over self, through discipline, dedication, and crucially, solitude. Musashi's solitude wasn't about a monk-like existence away from society. It was about mental solitude, a self-imposed state of mind where the chatter of the external world was muted. He advocated introspection and a clear mind free from distractions as the path to self-improvement. This understanding was encapsulated in his Dokudo, which translates to the path of walking alone. Through these precepts, he provided guidance on how to live without fear, regret, or distraction, and the importance of being true to oneself. Let's now delve into these teachings and unravel how embracing solitude can significantly alter our lives. The importance of solitude. Musashi's philosophy emphasized solitude, not as a means to isolation, but as a path to self-discovery and self-improvement. He believed that solitude allowed him to sharpen his mind and body without distraction, honing his skills and understanding himself at a deeper level. In the silence and peace of solitude, he found clarity, freed from the influence and judgment of others. It was an opportunity for him to learn, grow, and come to terms with his own strengths and weaknesses, without the external noise that often clouds our judgment and self-perception. Musashi wrote, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." He urged people to turn their focus outward, to observe, learn, and understand the world around them, while maintaining a humble sense of self. It's about removing ego and opening oneself to the vast knowledge the world has to offer. This humble self-awareness, coupled with a profound understanding of the world, forges a formidable path towards self-improvement and personal growth. But how can we apply these ancient teachings to our modern lives? Let's delve into practical ways to walk our own path of solitude, guided by Musashi's wisdom. The lessons Musashi gleaned from solitude are not just applicable to the life of a samurai, but can be carried into our lives today, centuries later. He formulated these insights into the Dokudo, also known as the Path,
Goddamn time,
or the Way to Go Forth Alone, a short work written a week before his death. One of the lessons Musashi teaches us is the value of self-reliance. He states in the Dokudo, "Do not seek pleasure for its own sake." This is a reminder that fleeting happiness derived from external validation or material possessions does not lead to long-lasting fulfillment. Instead, Musashi urges us to find satisfaction within ourselves, in our actions, and in our personal growth. Another key point in the Dokudo is the principle of do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. This urges us to not act impulsively based on transient emotions, but to carefully contemplate our actions and their consequences. Our decisions should be thoughtfully made, fully conscious, and independent of fleeting feelings or external influences. Furthermore, Musashi highlights the importance of being unattached to physical and temporal things. In the Dokudo, he advises, do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. This counsel to let go of unnecessary attachments isn't just about material possessions. It also extends to relationships, habits, and thoughts that no longer serve us. It's a lesson in decluttering our lives, physically and mentally. Circumstances depend on a partial feeling. This urges us to not act impulsively based on transient emotion, lasting fulfillment. Or The Way to Go Forth Alone, a short work written a week before his death. One of the lessons Musashi teaches us is the value of self-reliance. He states in the Dokudo, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. This is a reminder that fleeting happiness derived from external validation or material possessions does not lead to long-lasting fulfillment. Instead, Musashi urges us to find satisfaction within ourselves, in our actions, and in our personal growth. Another key point in the Dokudo is the principle of do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. This urges us to not act impulsively based on transient emotions, but to carefully contemplate our actions and their consequences. Our decisions should be thoughtfully made, fully conscious, and independent of fleeting feelings or external influences. Furthermore, Musashi highlights the importance of being unattached to physical and temporal things. In the Dokudo, he advises, do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. This counsel to let go of unnecessary attachments isn't just about material possessions. It also extends to relationships, habits, and thoughts that no longer serve us.
I like that.
It's a lesson in decluttering our lives, physically and mentally, creating more room for growth and transformation. In another precept, he states, this urges us to not act in happiness derived from external validation or material possessions does not. He formulated these insights into the Dokudo, also known as the Path of Aloneness, or the Way to Go Forth Alone, a short work written a week before his death. One of the lessons Musashi teaches us is the value of self-reliance. He states in the Dokudo, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. This is a reminder that fleeting happiness derived from external validation or material possessions does not lead to long-lasting fulfillment. Instead, Musashi urges us to find satisfaction within ourselves, in our actions, and in our personal growth. Another key point in the Dokudo is the principle of do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. This urges us to not act impulsively based on transient emotions, but to carefully contemplate our actions and their consequences. Our decisions should be thoughtfully made, fully conscious, and independent of fleeting feelings or external influences. Furthermore, Musashi highlights the importance of being unattached to physical and temporal things. In the Dokudo, he advises, do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. This counsel to let go of unnecessary attachments isn't just about material possessions. It also extends to relationships, habits, and thoughts that no longer serve us. It's a lesson in decluttering our lives, physically and mentally, creating more room for growth and transformation. In another precept, he states, do not fear death. This is not a call to be reckless, but an encouragement to live fully and fearlessly, with the understanding that death is a part of life. It's a prompt to live each day as if it were your last, cherishing every moment and taking opportunities as they come. And lastly, he urges us to be detached from desire your whole life long. This teaches us to free ourselves from the constant yearning for more that often leads to dissatisfaction and unhappiness. It's about learning to be content with what we have while still striving for self-improvement. These are just a few of the principles Musashi left us in his Dokudo. They provide us with a roadmap for navigating life, highlighting the value of introspection, self-reliance, thoughtful decision-making, and detachment from the superfluous. Today's world is vastly different from Musashi's time. We're constantly connected, with technology tying us together more closely than ever before. But while these connections can bring us closer, they can also prevent us from truly being alone, from experiencing solitude in its fullness. Yet, as Musashi emphasized, solitude holds immense value for personal growth and self-understanding. So how can we implement Musashi's lessons on solitude in our interconnected world? Firstly, we can practice solitude by regularly taking time away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. This could be through daily periods of silence and solitude, be it through meditation, walks in nature, or simply sitting quietly in a room. During these times, allow yourself to think, reflect, and just be. Secondly, consider practicing digital detoxing. Setting aside designated times each day to disconnect from our devices can provide us with much-needed space for self-reflection and inner peace. It's a way of asserting our independence from the constant demands for our attention and creating space for solitude. Thirdly, solitude is about more than physical aloneness. It's also about mental and emotional aloneness. This means learning to detach ourselves from the need for approval, the urge to compare ourselves to others, and the desire to conform. It's about learning to stand firm in our beliefs and decisions even if they go against the crowd. Lastly, make solitude a priority. Treat it as an essential part of yourself. See it not as a luxury, but as a necessity for personal growth and self-understanding. The world may be different from Musashi's time, but the lessons we learned in solitude are timeless. By incorporating these principles into our lives, we can learn to not just be alone, but to thrive in alone, finding peace and fulfillment within ourselves. Addressing the challenges. Breaking solitude isn't always easy. It often goes against our instinct for connection and social interaction. We can even feel associating it with loneliness, isolation, or rejection. But it is necessary. Choosing solitude can feel challenging, even unexpected. Firstly, there's a differentiation between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is a state of emotional distress, a sense of being socially isolated. It's an unwanted state, a feeling of disconnection. Solitude, on the other hand, is being alone. Realize that solitude isn't an all-or-nothing concept. You don't have to retreat into a cave or live as a It's about making time for yourself, for your thoughts and your flesh. Lastly, embrace the discomfort that comes with solitude. This discomfort can be a sign of growth, a sign that you're challenging yourself, pushing your boundaries, and stepping out of your comfort zone. This actually understood the challenge of the solitude, yet he also recognized its benefits. These are drive that will teach us. He gives us the blueprint for overcoming these challenges, as harnessing the transformative power of the the brilliant read aloud the teachings of neoliberal reception is a powerful reminder of the significance of solitude in personal growth and self-realization. The path to self-mastery is often required just in life. The journey may not be easy, but it is undoubtedly rewarding. But the more as it's often good, you too will discover both fear and love.
Oh. Hell no. Something about? nothing, Turk, she finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sips, dog, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't back and forth over no net, so just gon' did it. See? When you see me, if it's smoke, doggy, unleash it. They been rockin', bitch, it's my fave, I'ma gon' beat it. Looking in the mirror, kiss my face, I'm too conceited. Send a girl home, call another dog, I'm too slime. She didn't wanna eat it on the first day, it's her round. I don't fuck with drugs, poppin' X for the first time. That shit kicked in like a 2-time world champ. Booted up, that shit up and down like a skate ramp. She vaping in my room, that shit lit up like a glow lamp. Who won't smoke? Okay, cool, let's stay whole camp. Big shit poppin', we the ones that get your shirt down. Niggas try to take a nigga spot and that's too cramped. Up 8 a.m., geeking hard, I'm a real vamp. These niggas got me fucked up, dog, I'm too amp. Make this bitch lick me like a mail stamp. Strapped up, fuck it, I'ma die lit. Too slime, posted at the crib in a snake pit. Every time I tell you how I feel, I don't fake shit. Okay, everybody got a stick, we don't run fade. We ain't even out in Turk, she finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sips, dog, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't back and forth over no net, so just gon' did it. See me when you see me, if it's smoke, doggy, unleash it.
Dang, 54% cover.
We ain't even out in Turk, she finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sips, dog, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't back and forth over no net, so just gon' did it. See me when you see me, if it's smoke, doggy, unleash it. They been rockin', bitch, it's my fave, I'ma gon' beat it. Looking in the mirror, kiss my face, I'm too conceited. Send a girl home, call another dog, I'm too slime. She didn't wanna eat it on the first day, it's her round. I don't fuck with drugs, poppin' X for the first time. That shit kicked in like a 2-time world champ. Booted up, that shit up and down like a skate ramp. She vaping in my room, that shit lit up like a glow lamp. Who won't smoke? Okay, cool, let's stay whole camp. Big shit poppin', we the ones that get your shirt down. Niggas try to take a nigga spot and that's too cramped. Up 8 a.m., geeking hard, I'm a real vamp. These niggas got me fucked up, dog, I'm too amp. Make this bitch lick me like a mail stamp. Strapped up, fuck it, I'ma die lit. Too slime, posted at the crib in a snake pit. Every time I tell you how I feel, I don't fake shit. Okay, everybody got a stick, we don't run fade. We ain't even out in Turk, she finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sips, dog, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't back and forth over no net, so just gon' did it. See me when you see me, if it's smoke, doggy, unleash it.
I'm Tom. Now that we know each other, we ain't gotta talk about canceling Christmas. Chicago's a violent city. It's all gonna be up for grabs. Let's make it all. Do you have what it takes?
Damn. Everybody all good. Also hit me with over everybody all good. Wake up, Sophie.
Yeah. We ain't even out in church, you finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sip, die, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't back and forth over no net, so just gon' did it. See me when you see me if it's smoke.
Bro, y'all niggas is ass with no defense. Fuck. What is going on?
Doggy unleashed. They been rockin', bitch, it's my fave, I'ma gon' beat it. Looking in the mirror, kiss my face, I'm too conceited. Send a girl home, call another dog, I'm too slime. She didn't wanna eat it on the first day, it's her round. I don't fuck with drugs, poppin' X for the first time. And she kicked in like time, what champ? Man, room, she did like a glow lamp. Won't smoke, okay, cool, let's stay on camp. Big shit, Papa, we the ones that get your shirt down. Niggas try to take a nigga spot, and that's too cramped. Up 8 a.m., geeking hard, I'm a real vamp. These niggas got me fucked up, dog, I'm too amp. Made this bitch lick me like a mess down. Strapped up, fuck it, I'ma die lit. Too slime, posted at the crib in a snake pit. Every time I tell you how I feel, I don't fake shit. Okay, everybody got a stick, we don't run fast. We ain't even out in church, she finna take sand. Riding around with F and then we like to hold hands. Over 2 sip, die, he ain't need a bed. Then I did the pint of tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull her, she gon' moped it. My doggy don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I'm back and forth over on that, so just gon' did it. See me when you see me, if it's smoke, doggy, unleash it.
Thanks for the first time. That shit keep getting like a 2-time.
With over 200 flavoring bowls, every sip of Woodford Reserve bourbon is a spectacle for the senses.
Hey. Flip, fly, trying to vibe for me.
Slip, slide, trying to provide for me. For me.
Give me the let you get it down, it's the other way. You know, I need some ice cream like the other day.
For me. Find me somewhere out in London, you know that's the hideaway. I need some head and some more support for you right away. Since I've been making donations to you like United Way. Stories you told me about him, I can see that it's night and day. You told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many rooms. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. And I'm wheels, I'm riding on my friendships. Solid, I get big deposits on my whips, exotic. Revving the engine, what? City dependent. I gotta finish it, I want opinions, she wanted things, yeah. She want a ring or some sort of arrangement, yeah. Something that's dangerous. I wanna change it, I wanna claim it, yeah. I want it painted, yeah. She quick. Say no cause she know she a diamond, she getting quiet, she on the diet, she want a massage, trying to get intimate, bank account never diminishing, yeah. Niggas are changing their images, yeah. Niggas act hard but they innocent, yeah. Hop in the tank and move militant, yeah.
Hey, right here, I got next.
Why is it dude keep leaving his van open? He's on takeover. Leaving the van on here. Man, this dude's on takeover, leaving him wide open.
I told my bitch if I gotta be faithful, I might fall off. I put all my bills on paper so they won't talk. I put up another vintage, she got a cold walk. I talk all the shit I want. I fuck over $1 million. With the end of the year, got some new tennis. These some 60 pointers. Bitch can't say go one up, got you pregnant. Hit you with a rubber. Long as I had dinner for my family, I was skipping supper. Flew this bitch to LA with my clan. She end up fucking my brother. What they cost? Every time I talk, I see real diamonds. It's some real diamonds. Yeah. In the Turk, I changed the whole climate. And they whole finance. Told her no, she ain't got no assignments. Pushing her soul mighty. Counting this paper, I got arthritis. We're going denim.
Try just busting that dude, my dude, that dude's ass.
Yeah, top night. My ex is a freak like a scorpion, but she a Pisces. Her ex used to be rich, I had to upgrade her body. Yeah, watching the letters on money. I put all my drugs in a designer bag. Bad bitch in the city, got a Harvard name. Yeah. Got it undershot, time for a skinny pants, alteration, I woke up this morning, I was high than Jesus, bro. I just took 2 pills down with my people, bro. Last like that addict had me on my feet, bro. I just hit some shit while I was down no sleep, bro.
Cindy, do you think our crispy flavor will last forever?
All we have is thin fresh summer, Billy.
But I love you.
No.
Yeah. I keep syrup in my soda. Turn it up. I keep syrup in my soda. I keep syrup in my soda.
Okay, fam. Welcome back to another video, another reaction for you guys.
This is a good one, y'all. We're taking a little step off the branch from Joey Diaz, right? You at the top of the tree at Podcastville. We're going through one of his branches. You know what I'm saying? We got Theo Von, and Theo Von's got a couple guests on there that they're perfect, right? This is one of my favorite guests on his podcast. If you haven't seen him on his podcast, I highly recommend you go check him out. Theo Von, the Riff Raff. Remember the good old days. And before we get into this, I just want to remind you guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Getting into the Twitch streaming, hopefully tomorrow, Sunday, it'll be up and ready to go. I'm dealing with some mic issues, trying to get that fixed. I'm trying to watch some videos on how to learn. But without any further ado, let's get into this Theo Von, Riff Raff, Remember the Good Old Days. Link to this video will be down in the description.
But them ranch Doritos, remember when they came out? Those Cool Ranch Doritos. You remember that? Yeah, I remember when the commercials for shit was just way different. When Bo Jackson was playing two sports, you know what I'm saying? He was playing two sports, and Mike Tyson, and when the double-decker taco, and you had the double-decker taco sideways neck. Yeah, remember that? He got stuck eating. Shaq had sideways neck. He couldn't eat. Couldn't play basketball. He shoot free throws. Yeah.
Dude, remember how good? Remember when Cool Ranch Doritos? Remember, because for 20 years it was just Doritos, cheese only, regular, nothing fancy.
You saw them Cool Ranch,
and then suddenly
they wasn't just ranch. Cool.
It felt good on you.
Everybody wanted the Cool Ranch. Dude, they were sold out.
They didn't have them everywhere. I remember biking all around town. We heard that they had them somewhere. Dude, a friend of mine got hit by a Trans Am on his bike looking for Cool Ranch Doritos, bro. It was in a fucking wheelchair.
Hush for that. Hush puppy, what are they called? Slush puppies. Slush puppies and Cool Ranch Doritos. Then you go in there. What did you used to? A regular summer day as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like what kind of you go to the gas station? Where did you get your money? First of all.
Okay. First of all, where we got the money was my mom had a chart. If you were good, you started out with $1 at the beginning of the week, and you got checks on there when you.
The sun up at the hideout. Pull your cards in, full of aces. Room on the table, and I know you can taste it like this. I am the local 24/7有热辣的状态 is full show 跟着我走走长沙人最讲的塑料普通话也炸一日三餐绝对少不了辣再干本韵味的操就害了当时没多背厌恶了这么玩乐队塑料普通话不收费从脖子压处理鬼鬼就算是别些也无感就算我也无感小不得地牢也无感我还是咋说的梦在
That's what I was going to ask you about. That is, so it used to be, the engagement.
到英军大叫一步不高我相信他们的泡泡之法比他们尴尬因为手里有牌跳得快板的嘛为错又再喊我快得落我恨个不羁你在心酸我还在无意我办过的爱是为深耕不息一路上我相信人者无敌来放的态度不讲 sorry 这城市所有爱是 shake your body 不在我路就在你的一起 feeling the vibe you better come in and find it
match. The idea was somebody kept interfering in the match, whatever. So they went, well, let's make it so nobody can interfere. The heel can't escape. It's in a cage now. But now the objective is for the babyface to escape, or for both of you to escape, really. So it's a weird new take on a cage match. What did you think?
Looks like I'm gonna make it, and I don't. Looks like he's gonna make it and be done.
Bringing you another edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here, and I'm joined by Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines. So the Lakers will get the first possession. Russell high post. Pass to Reeves. In the corner, it's James. The Clippers grab the miss.
And since 1999, the Clippers and Lakers have shared their downtown LA arena. The only NBA teams to split a venue, but that's going to change soon.
And so the Los Angeles Lakers get the first points of the ballgame. Pass to George. Here's the three. Nailed from three-point land.
Paul George has such confidence in his three-point shot now. It's almost like he expects them all to go in.
The Clippers broke ground on their new arena, set to open in Inglewood in 2024. I've seen the footprint. You fly right into LAX, and you see it every time. It's going to be beautiful.
Trying to create their own identity in Southern California. Having a venue just for the Clippers will help.
Here's Davis. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. They get Russell Westbrook.
That is textbook when you're talking a pump fake. Well executed that time by Davis. So good at knowing how to use that shot fake effectively.
And with the struggles AD has had to stay healthy, and you wonder, though, if the team's going to focus on having him be at his best for that postseason run and try to manage the wear and tear.
Lock at 6. George. Offensive rebound. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. Pass to Westbrook. Second shot opportunity. And that one goes long. And when Davis is on the floor, Greg, he is a freshman. But how do you keep him healthy into the playoffs? That is the question.
I mean, sustaining his output over a full season isn't easy, but Davis has had a bit of bad luck with the injury, so you have to mitigate ways to keep him available.
Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Right side, George. Not going to go that time. Here's Davis. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. Davis has got 8 points.
Boy, AD's showing you how strong and willing to work he is, because that was a difficult bucket there.
The deep three from George. George missing again. The drive. Oh!
My goodness. It never gets old seeing LeBron throw it down, especially when he decides to do it with a little flavor.
Now here's Westbrook. Outside for George. And it's George again missing.
Nothing seems to be going his way this quarter.
To me, it appears he's starting to lose his composure a little bit. We'll see if he can regroup and get back into a better rhythm.
Here's Covington after the basket by the Lakers. Will it go? And it's Paul George with the finish.
You know, as we're doing this, you know, if I have something that comes to mind.
And you know what? for me, these dunks show exactly how great an athlete George is. I mean, sometimes you're surprised that the basket doesn't come down with the force he punches it with.
And the Lakers decide to take their first time out here.
And this Lakers squad has a ton of talent, but some guys are well past their prime.
I was going to ask you about that, because that has been the rumor with him and DDT for that matter. And then, you know, the two of those guys work together, so I'm sure they're in heaven because they both love mapping out their matches. But yeah, that had to be quite an adjustment for you going from, you know, being a call it in the ring, let's feel the fans type guy, to all of a sudden now you've got to remember a bunch of stuff in a match.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that hard of it because it was, you know, it was wrestling. It was something I was very familiar with, but yeah, we did it.
And thank God it's something you're an expert in wrestling.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. High quality protein.
Big good substitution here for the Lakers. And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. And what do you think, GA, is the next step for this Lakers team?
Coming off a championship not that long ago, young firepower is surely needed. These older guys can't carry a team like they used to.
Now Westbrook, following the miss by Malik Beasley from deep. 5 on the clock. Gets it out to Covington. And a miss there on the triple.
Boy, I'm absolutely shocked he didn't get that one to go. Usually he's money from deep.
Clippers trailed by 4. And that's a foul called on Malik Beasley. That's his first foul.
First personal foul. First team foul.
56 seconds left to play here in the first.
And he was camped in just the right spot to swipe that pass away down low.
LeBron James. And James throws it down.
Tell you what, even though he's a little older now, James still a force in transition.
Now here's Westbrook. He's still scoreless so far in this one. Now George takes it out to Leonard. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
First personal foul.
A superstar who kind of keeps to himself. Leonard leads by example. And it's produced titles.
Leonard hits them both.
Already a very confident player. Knocking down those free throws only fuels that.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. There's the 3. It's hauled in by the Clippers. And here's Westbrook. Pass to Plumlee. To the middle. Here's Covington. Good work defensively by Hachimura.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Anthony Davis firing on all cylinders for the
The Lakers, 14. Fans, please give a big round of applause.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now.
Come on,
and taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for the Lakers.
Look at the fast break point total from these guys. I mean, they're really hustling, working hard. And those hustle points are showing up on the scoreboard.
On top of that, they're creating turnovers and taking advantage by converting on the offensive end.
Leonard fires away from outside. Can't connect from long distance. And with the 15th pick in the 2011 draft, Leonard wasn't highly touted for coming out of high school or college.
Listen, in the pros, recognition took a while. How long is it? He won Finals MVP and Defensive Player of the Year before he ever made an All-Star team. Now, one of the 75 greatest.
And, you know, this guy simply does not age. LeBron remains a dominant force in this league despite being in the league since 2003.
In the corner, George with it. Hangs home the trifecta. George has got 8.
You know, when you're open on Westbrook's team, he makes sure to find he's a selfless distributor.
Pass to Bamba. Back to LeBron. Now Hachimura. In the corner, Bamba with it. And right away, the Nets with a 3-pointer of their own. Bamba's got the lead back up to 6 now for the Lakers. And James throws it down.
James throwing it down with that power dunk. You know, the defense can't allow him to get what he wants inside because that's easy pickings for LeBron.
Now here's Westbrook. No points in the game yet for him. A 3 from Leonard. Pass to Covington. Outside Westbrook. George with the ball. He's got 8. Misses from short range. Here's James. Oh, and the jam by LeBron.
Assist from.
Well, just relish and cherish what you're watching tonight, folks. LeBron James going off. We are witnessing greatness.
Now, here's Covington. Westbrook surveying the D. And Dennis Schroeder gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was 1 step late that time.
Here's Leonard. He's got 5. To end the run. And Bamba with the block.
Guys, that's all athleticism and timing. Bamba, a terrific shot blocker because he uses the physical tools he has quite well.
Aaron Gordon. Bones Highland.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. You know, Greg, you played on some pretty teams, and you hear that expression, getting punched in the mouth. And it's not usually literal, but what's that look like on the floor? What's it feel like on the court?
Kevin, you're just out hustling and out muscling the team. At times you'll see it. They kind of checked out mentally. And I'll tell you what, it is one of the best feelings in sport.
How about that dish by Schroeder? Always a good idea to get it to the open man. That's just good basketball.
Highland misses. Lakers lead by 12.
Foul. Bones Highland. First personal foul. Second team foul.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the second quarter of basketball.
2 minutes remaining.
After a relatively slow start to his career, Mo Bamba has seen increased playing time. Finally getting the opportunity to show why he was drafted 6th overall in 2018.
At the line
and that one falls for Bamba.
Mo Bamba. At the line for 2.
Bamba, his shot blocking and ability to space the floor really stood out.
And Greg, that's a very valuable and unique combination. I mean, this guy has a 7'10" wingspan, covers a lot of ground defensively, moves his feet well, has a nice stroke. And his height, he's able to get a lot of clean looks from beyond the arc.
Doesn't go for him. So the Clippers will take it the other way. Pass to Morris. Here's Highland. Clippers moving the ball around. And again, no good by the Clippers.
You can just see the frustration growing on their faces. Nothing going their way.
You know, guys, no denying it's been a rough patch here. I think they've got to run whatever is best in their playbook to get a good shot.
And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. The Lakers are, of course, one of the league's storied franchises. And Magic Johnson was asked recently if they have the best all-time collection of players. He says it's not even close. Outside of Bill, we have all the dominant closers. Kobe, Jerry, LeBron now, Irving. on now. It's just too many Lakers. Kevin, back to you.
Well, he's got a point, David, and we thank you for your report. 6 to shoot. Three-pointer. Does not find the target. That makes him 3 for 5. Pass to Powell to stop the drought. And the Clippers miss again. And so it's Walker with it, who brings it up for the Los Angeles Lakers. In the second quarter, they've given up just 3 points. Puts it up from 17. And the Clippers decide to take their first timeout here.
Well, it's been an express to the rim. Coach can't be happy about that.
And, you know, I think he's going to tell them simply, we have to show more fight on the interior. That's the top priority right now.
So both teams making some changes here. To the inside. Morris with the bucket.
Efficient score inside. Morris can beat you with a variety of moves.
Russell looking around. Here's Reeves. And that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. And
your
so
Clippers 15, the Lakers 30.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. And it's the Clippers with the ball. Down by 15. Pass to Powell. Fires for 3. Carries it from three-point range.
Norman
Powell's got the first bucket of the third here for the Clippers. Left side, Walker. Latrey. Rebound by the Clippers.
Trying at stake. Trying to get that last 3 ball back, but couldn't get it to fall.
The 3 from George. Lakers leading 5-12. Pass to Reeves. That 3 off the mark.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
One of my favorite eras in NBA history, Clark, the 80s Showtime Lakers.
Man, I played against those guys. Thankfully, it was just twice a year. We were in the Eastern Conference. Those dudes were unbelievable. Magic running the point. Kareem still playing at a high level down low. Worthy finding his stride and finishing the break. They didn't just win titles. Showtime had a flavor that was fun to watch if you weren't being run out of the building by him. You know, George's not content just to roam the perimeter now. He'll attack the heart of the defense as well.
Clippers trail by 8. Here's Powell. Goes to the reverse layup and puts it in. Powell's got 5 minutes.
Well, they're getting stops, and they're attacking on the offensive end.
You know, it's taken a big run, but they were able to get back into this one. Very impressive. No quitting these guys.
And finished off by Davis.
Assisted by
Boy, you describe AD's games, and you start running out of superlatives. I mean, when this guy is healthy, he dominates in a different fashion, but in similar ways to Tim Duncan.
Now, here's Zubac. Pass to Powell. Lets the 3 fly. And it's Russell with the rebound. Lakers lead by 8. Here's Davis. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Davis has got 4 points this quarter.
And I tell you what, AD is able to brush off those defenders with ease because of how strong he is. That's what they call weight room.
Now, here's George. He's got 10. Just 4 to shoot. Pass to Powell. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
substitution for your Clippers, Robert Covington.
And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. outside Russell.
Two
Not
minutes
from free throw range. It's
remaining.
hauled in by the Clippers.
You know he wants that one back. I mean, more often than not, he'll sink that mid-range jumper.
And here's Leonard from three.
Foul Clippers.
And they will call over the back on the play.
Second personal
He
foul.
must have thought he was a jungle gym the way he was climbing all over his back. Easy call.
Yeah, that's a good one there, man. I'll tell you, I appreciate the effort, but he overdid it just a bit there. He needed to get called for the foul. You know, they'll take the points, but I'm sure coach would prefer a higher percentage look next time.
A three from Leonard. Vanderbilt with the rebound.
And the well is running dry for him right now. Nothing falling.
And, you know, you can sense his frustration. This is going to be a test of his resolve here.
You gotta love his hustle, leaving the defense no time to react.
And, you know, you're going to get those buckets, guys, when you're quick to get out on the break. Get that ball up the court as fast as you can.
Plumlee with the steal. They get a hand on it. And the officials into the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
Los Angeles.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
And here's Walker outside. Clippers trail by 14. And they get it. Reeves with the rebound.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all.
LA foul. Mason
Looking at Anthony Davis,
first personal foul
of this team.
Sure is. I mean, along with every team he's been on. This is a superstar player. I mean, no question about that. He can headline a roster full of superstars. Not much on the floor that AD can't do.
And he's good on the second.
You know, with that combination of strength and length, Davis can easily overwhelm defenders and get himself to the foul line.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Puts it up from 17. And again, no good by the Clippers. Now, here is Russell. Pass to Reeves. Knocks down the three ball. Reeves has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
Boy, the former second overall pick has really worked on his passing. That was an outstanding find by Russell.
And so it's the Los Angeles Lakers holding a big 18-point lead to close the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. And so James will bring it up for the Lakers. 18 points separating the teams. That's the biggest lead of the game.
And priority number one has got to be the finish, guys, not the fancy stuff.
Westbrook, no good. And here are the Lakers.
LA foul.
And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit. That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part. Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
George looking over the floor. And they recover it. Beyond the arc. Good. Nice assist from Westbrook.
Paul George has become such an assertive and confident player. He knows exactly when he's in position to get that catch and shoot off.
And guys, that's not as easy as he made it look. You've got to have some skills to pull that off.
Well, he's got plenty of those, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Let's just call it lateral climbing. Whatever the defense gives, that's what he takes. A sign of a skilled offensive player.
Pass to Bamba. Easy 2 points on the layup. And the Lakers lead by 18.
Good position that time around the bucket, and when Bamba does that, he's hard to stop.
George from deep three-point land. That one, no good. And the Lakers will go the other way with it. Here's LeBron. And LeBron throws it down hard.
And LeBron is a force rolling to the rim. When he's diving inside, he's looking for the punch.
Back to Leonard. There's the triple. Lakers with the rebound.
You know, he's just chucking.